Stop hoping for your business to grow and start mastering the formula for success that every entrepreneur needs to grow their business. Join us for 5+1 Mastery, where every week we go in depth on how to grow your business the right way. Learn more at 5+1mastery.com.
The more you're growing, if you feel like, man, especially in 2020, it's forced us to grow in ways we weren't planning. And so when you hit that wall, it's like, okay, growth, reinvention, creation, now get into implementation, and all of a sudden you hit a wall again.
I'm your host, Chaz Wilson. I bring you successful entrepreneurs, add valuable wisdom to your journey, and help you succeed. Welcome to Connect, Share, and Prosper.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Connect, Share, Prosper. Happy to be with you. I'm live today, live in studio. So if you want to make a comment, you want to tell me where you're from, who's listening, please go ahead and do so. Excited to be with you, to be part of this show, this episode today. Got some thoughts I'm going to share with you on this episode. Here we are in November of 2020. Excited to be with you today. I've spent probably the last week and a half since our summit. I spent outside of the office, not feeling well. Off and on, working from home, putting in a grind. And I have to tell you, going into the gym today, back at it this morning, I felt like I hit a wall. Having not been at it for almost 2 weeks, literally felt like I hit a wall pretty quickly into the workout today. So if you've ever felt like in business you have hit a wall, I want you to share, hey, that's me. Let me know that you're listening today live on our Facebook page. Let me know if you've ever felt like you've hit a wall, especially in your business. It feels like there's definitely a fatigue happening for many people, and I get it once in a while, pretty often. And when I hit that wall, when I hit that place where it just feels that ceiling, where I feel like that achievement isn't going anymore the way I want it to, man, I've got to get after it again. And I'm going to share with you how I get through that and what I need to do to navigate that. If you're feeling that way, stay with me, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I go through, particularly when it comes to selling and moving revenue into your business. Welcome, Bill. Glad you're with me. Hello, Colleen from Pennsylvania, and Bill from Illinois. Listen, I promise this broadcast will not have any political ads. I don't know about you guys, but I watched my first football game this year yesterday, and it was just... talk about hitting a wall. I could not stand watching anymore with every political ad, because I guess there's got to be, fair time. So you got one party or this person or that person sharing their political ad back and forth. I was like, man, this is crazy. So I felt like I hit the wall. Went to the gym this morning, felt like I hit the wall. Having been out for 2 weeks, not being at the gym. So feeling good, feeling healthy today, getting back after it. And as I was driving in this morning, I'm thinking, man, there's got to be other people that often feel like in their business they've hit a wall. And how do you get through that? How do you change that mindset? So let me share just a couple of thoughts with you, and I'm going to get into this particularly if it comes into generating revenue, especially when revenues are down, right? So one of the things that I have to do is look at reinventing myself, reinvention, that creativity space for me, okay? Yes, Tammy, no politics here. Well, at least no political ads. I can't say that I do sometimes get into politics. Yeah, the texts are too much, she says. The texts are too much, no doubt, no doubt. Tammy says, whoops, I can't use that. She says right here, no politics, Yahoo, the texts are too much. I agree. So I want to just share with you that this is how I overcome hitting a wall. And this is one of the things that I have to do regularly is really think about it's time for reinvention. Understanding that the clarity in which I have in my mission is the power that gives me that to get through that wall. And often when I've hit that wall, it is because the mission, the focus is not clear anymore, right? I am not clear on where I'm going and what I'm doing, and understanding that wherever my focus goes, my energy flows. So if my energy's low, I feel like I'm hit that wall. I'm probably not clear on those goals and the things that I'm trying to accomplish again. So first step that I do is I get clear on what exactly is it that I want. Where's the clarity for me in what I want, right? I love what Tony Robbins says. He says, don't manage your circumstances, be a creator of them. So I understand, I shared this on a live months back that, I think where I'm at my best is when I'm in creativity mode, right? Much like my creator, I am in creation. I am in the creative mode. And so I want to not be a victim of circumstances, but a creator of the things that I want. So I have to get my focus, right? The power to have the clarity in my focus. So number one, if you're writing notes, get clear on your focus. If you feel like you've hit a wall, right? I again, went to the gym after being out for almost 2 weeks. I hit a wall on like the third exercise. It was 18 stations today. I go to F45 gym. Love that place. I get in my third station and I'm like already at the wall. And I realize I'm not clear in my focus of what my goal is to accomplish. Today, my goal was to finish. Okay. Number two, to take massive action. Right? Once I'm clear, I've got to take massive action. So having been sick, having been down, having not been working out, I could say, well, why don't I go for a walk today? Why don't I just take it easy today, and then I'll get back into it, right? I'll ease my way back into it. That would be something I could do, but I said, no, I'm going to take massive action. I don't always do that, but I need to remember and step up when you're most feeling that you've hit the wall, to take really big action, okay? And then number three is to have gratitude. I often have to sit back and say, look at what I've accomplished, look at what my team's accomplished, our company, et cetera, right? So sometimes that gratitude, right, I will create sort of I love what Bill says, front sight focus. Yes, I need to have that focus forward. And I give myself a little bit of grace and gratitude for the situation that I have, that I'm in, that I have the ability to make these choices and so on and so forth. So that's the path that I take. Now let me talk about it as it comes to changing my mindset when I've hit a wall where our growth or our sales have sort of hit that wall. Now, some of you, your businesses are exploding. Some of you, your businesses are still struggling, or you feel like you've hit that wall. Something interesting, I'm talking to a friend of mine recently, just the fatigue that they felt, that's just giving every bit of effort, every ounce of effort this year just to keep things going and maintaining the way that they are. It's fascinating that how momentum can shift and how momentum can change. When you see yourself as whatever it is you want to accomplish. I got two stories for you in that. A couple weeks ago, I was coaching our fifth graders in our football game. It was a playoff game, and we were not favored to win this game. We ended up taking the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, and then quickly into the first quarter, we scored again, and we were up 14-0 real fast. Our identity had shifted. Our focus had shifted. We now believed we could play with this team. We believed, and we should be able to play with this team, and we were now believing what we could show up on the field. But quickly, we made a mistake. The other team capitalized on it in the third quarter, and they scored and went for a 2-point conversion. Next thing we know, it's 14-8. And all of a sudden, I could see on our kids this idea that, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we don't deserve to play against this team and compete with them. And it was everything we could do as coaches to keep their mindset focused on you belong. You belong in this game. You made it here. Unfortunately, we lost a heartbreaker 16-14. But what I said to the team afterwards is this could be a loss or a lesson. It's up to you. And I think the lesson is that our mindset dictates so much of the result that's on the field. Right? So much of what happens. I heard a story recently of a young man who, I won't go into all the details, but he was not a good student in school, was failing in school. Teachers thought he was a challenge in school, and so he struggled. And he goes to take, I believe in his junior year or senior year of high school, he goes to take the ACT, and he gets a really high score. I don't know the score, somewhere like 1,400, something like that. Gets a really high score. And goes on to go to college, I think a junior college kind of thing, and then goes into gets into then another school, and then gets into an Ivy League school, ends up starting a business, a very successful business. Years later, he ends up getting a call, somehow finds out that the year that he took the ACT, the way that they somehow they did the parameters of the testing, that it wasn't weighted properly. And so his score of 1,400 really would have been a score of like 800. And again, finds this out years later. He's already now got a successful career. And so when he was asked about it, how do you feel that you got an 1800? He said, basically the story is, it was the fact that he identified as a 1400 score that changed the trajectory of his life. And so whether it was an 800 or 1400, he believed he was a 1400. He believed that he belonged there. And so his identity changed forever. So when I hit a wall, which happens regularly, in fact, the higher at my frequency of growth, the more often I hit a wall. Does that make sense? So the more you're growing, if you feel like, man, especially in 2020, it's forced us to grow in ways we weren't planning. And so when you hit that wall, it's like, okay, growth, reinvention, creation, now get into implementation, and all of a sudden you hit a wall again. So the frequency in which you hit walls feels like it speeds up, and definitely did this year. So I have to change my mindset. Now when it comes to selling and it comes to growth will solve a majority of your issues, almost all of them in your business. If you don't have enough money, growth will solve it. If you can't hire because you don't have the money, growth will solve it. Right? A lot of those issues will be solved when you grow. So you have to change your mindset, reinvent, identify as a 1400, meaning identify as a top salesperson, identify as somebody who is successful in selling your product or service. You have to have that vision. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to sales, in the mindset of sales, I want you to write down these steps. These are the things to do every single day. You've got to create new money. You have to create new money. So how do you do that? Let me give you some tips on who to call, and I'll give you an idea of something I created here as a script that can help you, help anyone in business, generate more business, generate more sales, and overcome that wall that tends to hit all of us. By the way, you're listening to Connect, Share, Prosper, episode 135. Thank you for joining me today on our Facebook page. So what do? You've got to create new money every day. How do you do that? Well, one of the things you can do is go back to your list of your most recent customers. Your most recent customers, go find them, pull a list up and start calling them, and do what we call, if you're writing this down, taking notes, I call it tap rooting. You tap through the roots of your most recent customers, right? The newest customers you have. You are going to, because there's something called a reticular activator. This is when, I remember when my wife and I found out we were having twins. All of a sudden we noticed it seemed everywhere. Twins were like this epidemic, like twins were everywhere. Well, it's only because we now had twins coming into our life, that reticular activating system in our mind, we were focused on that. Right? Have you ever noticed too, you buy a new car as soon as you drive it off the lot? Yesterday, nobody had that car. Today, everyone else has that car. In fact, even the same color. Like you notice it everywhere. Because that's what you're focused on. Your customers are no different. As soon as they have engaged in business with you, their reticular activating system is now on alert, and they're noticing other people like them. That is the best time to reach out for them and ask for referrals. So you taproot your most recent customers, are the most excited. It's the highest time for them to get referrals from them. So you call your newest customers and you ask them for referrals, who they know, who may want to do business with you, who need the services or products you have. Call on your current customers, people who are currently doing business with you. Call on your past customers. Like, not enough of us call on past customers. It was interesting. We've been calling on people who deactivated with Master Networks. Last week we made some phone calls. I get a text message that says, oh, well, I got a robocall. Well, first of all, it's not a robocall. It might have felt like that, but it wasn't. And they were upset about it. And I thought, they reached back out, upset about the fact that we reached out to them to see if they wanted to come back and join us at Master Networks. That's going to happen. You're going to have those. I would rather bad follow-up happen than no follow-up happen. Okay, hear that again. I'd rather bad follow-up happen than no follow-up happen. So make sure you follow up with your past customers, asking them to come back, asking them if they have referrals, etc. How about strategic partners? Are you working with strategic partners within your Master Networks chapter, within the Master Networks family, who are people who know your ideal client and know where they already congregate and can send them to you? You know, one of the things that could help you get through the wall that you may have hit is getting more clarity around who your ideal customer is. Recently, I did a sales and profit summit, and we talked to everyone about their ideal customers. And it's interesting that how many times you hear somebody describe their ideal customer, and it's very vague. In fact, it's really hard to even know who you could send as a referral, right? Bill says, the fortune is in the follow-up. So true. The fortune is in the follow-up, right? You've heard all the statistics, like the 8th to 12th contact is where like 70% of sales happen. If we know that, then we need to be following up. All right, so let me go back to ideal customer. Your ideal customer. I love what Matt Monero shared with myself and Corey when we were at an event of his and Judge Graham. We went to listen to both of them. And Matt's company does commercial fleet financing. And I love in their company, if you asked anyone this in their company, they'd be able to tell you. They have an ideal customer that has to fit what they call a 557. Their sales teams know exactly who they're looking for. Okay? 557. What that means is, in his business, they don't finance anyone who hasn't been in business at least 5 years, have a minimum of 5 vehicles in their fleet, and have a minimum of a 700 credit score. Think about that. It's so clear, 557. Even I know who to send to them. If I knew of somebody that had been in business 5 years, had at least 5 vehicles in their fleet, and had a minimum score of 700, that'd be a perfect lead to send to them to finance additional fleet vehicles. Is your ideal customer that clear that you could say to somebody 557 or whatever it might be to help them understand exactly who you're looking for so they can send them to you? Guys, you are, like I used in the sports analogy before, you are one shift, one momentum, one play, one win away from changing momentum and completely getting through and breaking through that wall or that ceiling. Okay? And go back and recap. Remember, it's that creativity piece, getting clarity, right? Getting clarity on that mission, reinventing yourself, getting clarity on those goals. Okay? When it comes specifically to selling, it's getting clear on your ideal customer, getting clear on the fact that you need to make calls every single day looking for new money, every day looking for new money, and watch how this thing shifts for you. Now, in this Sales and Profit Summit I recently did, I shared with the group something I've been working on for quite some time called the Bond Sales Script. And what the Bond Sales Script is using the method that we talk about called Bond. It is a way to create relationships with people and develop opportunities. But now we turned it into a script so that when you're in front of anyone that you're selling to, let's say it's any kind of consultative selling. You know, if you're a real estate agent, you're there to talk to them about selling their home. If you're a web designer and you're there to talk to them about, maybe building a website or whatever it might be. Those kinds of things. Your coach, maybe you're a coach. This script is money. It is exactly how you use Bond to take people through building on a common interest, occupation exploration, really understanding them or their business, the needs discovery phase, okay, and then how to develop the opportunity such that they raise their hand and go, I need your service or your product. And then when you move them from develop opportunity, you move them into the application phase, which is basically, now that we can see there's an opportunity, let me tell you how we work, right? Let me share with you how we're different, not our features and benefits, right? But the deliverables. This is the results you're going to get. And then you qualify them on that application of this is who a good fit for us is, and this is who a good fit isn't, right? And they'll self-identify, oh man, I'm a good fit. That sounds like me. Great. Right? Then they go from the application to invitation. To achieve the desired results you have in 90 days, like to sell your home in the next 90 days or less, and to get what you wanted and to get started today, here's what we need to do. And so my question for you is, have you seen enough to get started today? And that's a yes or no. And that's how we close. And we do that every single time. Look, when someone comes to a Master Networks meeting, right? At the end of the meeting, I don't go up to them and say, well, so what do you think? Well, I'm not really worried about what they think. I want to know if they've seen enough to make a decision today. And it's yes or no. If it's yes, great. Here's how you join. If it's no, now I'll resolve concerns that they might have, right? That makes sense? And so having tools and resources helps you get creative. You move into activity, and that's how you break through the wall. You have a choice when you hit a wall, right? You have three choices. You can do what I just talked about to break through that ceiling, break through that wall. You can continue to do what you've always done and get what you've always got. And you all know people like that. We all see them where they just seem to be coasting, right? And you think, man, they're doing okay, but I just, you know that they could do better. And often these are people we care about, we know, we're close to because we can see it. And the third is what I call those people that chase, right? They chase. So again, you can break through, you can keep doing what you're doing, or you can chase, meaning I've hit the wall, right? My sales are down. So instead of getting clear, getting into creative mode and getting into implementation with these things, what I do is now I chase a different opportunity, right? You see this when people career hop all of the time. Guys, this is literally no different than in relationships, right? If a relationship has hit a wall, I can improve it. I can get creative, right? I can implement new tactics and strategies. Maybe it's communication. I need to learn that strategy better, right? Whatever it is, I can communicate better. I can implement that tactic, or I can just keep doing what I've always done, or chase other opportunities. Those are really your only three choices at any time when you hit a wall. And it's so easy right now to create circumstances that you've hit a wall and be that sort of victim of it right now. It's so easy to do. In fact, I joked about no political ads during this podcast. But the reality is, if you flipped on the news, the TV, the social media, whatever it is, all you're going to see is how this person or this person is going to come save you. And I'm here to tell you, no one's coming to save you. You have to be the creator of your circumstances. And if you're unhappy, as Tony Robbins said, I'll read you that quote again. He said, don't manage your circumstances. Be a creator. So if you're unhappy, it's because you're trying to manage your life, not create the life that's worth living. Okay? So if you've hit a wall, it's time to shake that off. Whoever that was that Taylor Swift that said shake it off? It's time to shake it off, okay? It's time to change your mindset. It's time to change your mindset. Be the 1400 ACT score, not the 700. Identify differently. Say, no, I am a good salesperson. I am a good business owner. I am the best at what I do. We're the best at what we do. Here's why we're the best. And I'm going to get after it by changing my mindset and getting into activity that will move the needle. Victoria said in caps, say it louder for the ones in the back. I'm not sure which statement it was that I need to say louder, but whatever it was, I'll say it louder. Okay? It's changing the mindset. Because here's the thing, you have the ability to solve problems. You have the ability to be the solution for somebody. Somebody today needs the product or service you offer, and it's your duty, it's your obligation to go out and provide that for them. And the money will change hands when you solve that problem. Okay? That's the key. We all hit walls. In fact, we need to hit them regularly. It means we're improving, we're growing. When we hit the wall, it's time for reinvention. It's time to get creative. That's when you are, by the way, at your best, is when you are creating. So, I hope that was helpful today. That was sort of my mindset this morning. Again, having 10 days, almost 2 weeks out of the gym, and got there this morning and I felt like I hit a wall. I have felt the last week that I had hit a wall, and I kind of went introspective and said, okay, if I've hit a wall, what do I need to do to change it? And I need to change my mindset, get into creativity, and get into activity and implementation. When I do that, I always find that I improve. I also find that problems that seem to be there existing are no longer there because my head is up. My head is up, right? I'm looking forward. I've shared this many times. You know, I love reading scripture. I love it. And I love in the scripture where it says, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking down is fit for the kingdom. Meaning you cannot look down. You've got to look up. Keep that, if you've ever plowed before or whatever, you pick like a post or a goal or something out there. okay? And you put your eyes on it and you keep looking. The moment you look down, you've now taken your eyes off of it and you are off your path, okay? You are off your path, no longer a straight line. You are off your goal. And that's the key. Keep your eye where you need to go so that you know you have clarity around your goal. You get clear around the activities that you need to take, and you get into massive action and implementation. Progress, not perfection. Head up, eyes on the prize. Love it, Bill. Guys, thanks for joining me today. Been my honor and privilege to be with you in this episode 135 of Connect, Share, Prosper. Again, join me every Monday, noon Central, on the Master Networks Facebook page. We'll bring you successful topics like today, or people who are successful entrepreneurs that share their ups and their downs, and we will share that with you every week. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. We will see you next time on Connect, Share, Prosper. Be well.
Stop hoping for your business to grow and start mastering the formula for success that every entrepreneur needs to grow their business. Join us for 5+1 Mastery, where every week we go in depth on how to grow your business the right way. Learn more at 5+1mastery.com.